These two drills will really help you control your ball flight and compress your irons on a windy day like today.
Let's get into today's video where we're going to talk about the fitness aspects and how this applies down at impact out on the golf course. Okay, so now what is the first aspect we're going to look at? You got a band.
The band is back. We love the red band. It's always here.
I feel like we've not spoken about it in a while though.
Yeah, I've missed it in all honesty, so I thought we'd better bring it back. So the first thing we're going to talk about is gaining some width into the downswing. So you can tell it's a really windy day today. So as we said, one of the things that a lot of golfers are struggling with is the ball flight in the wind, where they're almost adding loft to the club face and leaning behind a little bit of impact. Ball's coming up too high and we're not getting that piercing ball flight.
A little bit like this if people were sort of touching this way and sort of turning your 7-iron into like an 9-iron.
Exactly, which is no good when we need to get the ball going further.
No,
especially today. So we brought the red band back just to give players a little bit of a feel drill to incorporate into the downswing. Okay. So with the red band, what we're going to do is just hook it into the thumbs here and take a normal setup. You can bring the band behind you just so it sort of rests on the shoulder blades and it's secure. And then all we're going to do is just rotate down into impact here. So we've got this width of kind of both arms straight through the band, pulling the tension out a little bit and just getting that motion of opening the chest out, getting that lead hip into the joint and compressing what would be the iron into the ball. If you want to, you can actually add a little bit of a backswing motion into this just to sort of get going. Just come back down here into impact with the band. And this just gives you a little bit of tension, it's a bit of a sensation for the body, just to gain a bit of feeling rather than, you know, if I'm leaning back this way, I actually can't straighten this arm at the back very well at all. So it just gives you that referral system for what we're looking for in the swing.
Okay, just do that good version again. I think this is going to be a really good point for you all to look at in terms of golf, not fitness, but do this in terms.
So I'm creating width here through my arms and I'm just rotating through my left hip and I'm dropping down here where I'd sort of compress onto the ball.
So look what, sort of imagine the club in your hand. We'd sort of be able to create a little bit more sort of this angle on the golf club because you're posted into your left hand side. You've got some good turn. Whereas do the opposite.
Leaning back this way,
what's more likely to sort of happen here?
Yeah, we're seeing that adding loft to the club face position, which we're trying to avoid.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that'd be a great first one, and like we said on all these exercises, like you could do these as part of your warm-up.
Yeah.
An important point, I know we keep teasing this, but we have got some very exciting news dropping very soon, so keep up to date with all the fitness videos here on a Tuesday. So now, let's move on to exercise number 2.
Yep, so number 2, you're going to be the guinea pig here, Alex.
Righty-ho.
And I'm going to give you an alignment stick. This is going to loop through the belt. And this is a visual, again, for you to be able to see. So if you're practicing in the mirror, you can use your alignment stick here just to give you a little bit of visual assistance with what we're looking for.
I've got a question for you here. Nat doesn't know this. Okay, so I've been saying a lot of people at the minute, like if you can't get to the range, go and make some swings at home. You know, doing this sort of aspect, would you say there's a benefit of doing this at home? Yeah,
I'm a big fan of actually body movement without the club, because if you think what we're trying to do as well is we're training our brain to get into different movement patterns. It's like learning to drive, isn't it? You know, when you start, you're like, right, the clutch in, move the gear, and you've got all these processes going on. So when we're learning something new in the golf swing, we've kind of got that same system working. So I'm a big fan of that.
Fab. So if you've not got much time to go and practice, that's definitely a recommendation we would make. Let's now move on to the second aspect, this alignment stick. So that alignment stick's through.
Yep. What we're going to do is a separation drill for the hips. So the alignment stick's here so we can see the motion of the hips a little bit better than without having it. So you're just going to come into setup here. You can use this club across the chest. So what we're looking for is the torso to remain still. So if we think alignment stick to head remains still, and then we're going to move the stick through the lower body by rotating the hips right and left. Really getting into that left side in particular, because we are talking about the downswing position here. So you can see that there's minimal movement of this top club, and then we're getting the stick moving right and left through hip rotation. Yeah, a lot of concentration. This is one of those ones again that's a brain skill. So just like practice, as we said earlier, you got to think about the motions and think about what you're doing, and just getting that sensation for actually rotating through the hips.
Nice. Okay,
that's good.
So building on from this to the golf swing, if you guys come to the face-on perspective, like I get some golfers to do this now, where linking sort of fitness exercise number 1 and separation drill number 2 of, okay, well, come from a standing start, can we get into sort of more of this?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is essentially,
yeah, it's the red band drill.
with the red band drill, but actually giving you a little bit more awareness with this going through there. So think of a great warm-up right now, not only when it's windy. We're saying this is going to help you when it's windy because it's going to help you control and bring your ball flight down, but also a great just for compressing and striking your irons in general.
Yeah, I think it's that kind of over-exaggeration, isn't it, of trying to learn the skill, but particularly helpful when the conditions are like this.
Okay, so just 2 impact factors that help you hit the ball down and a little bit lower is, number 1, reducing the loft of your golf club at impact. Well, simply getting our hands ahead is going to be one of those factors, but also hitting down. Make them both work downwards more is going to really help you lower your ball flight. So bringing this and all the fitness aspects into a drill or a feeling to take to the golf course, if you want to keep this in, you can. If you're at the range, we would really both probably encourage that to begin with.
Yeah.
Standing in there, almost going to go, feel it, back to neutral, hit it away, sort of get that sort of 3/4 posed punch shot.
Yeah.
Really trying to feel like we're firing those hips through, but also this movement down. Let's now take this to the golf course now. What would you say? Would you say, actually, obviously we can't take the band out with us. What's the rule on that?
I don't know. I don't think that's allowed, is it? Would that not be classed as like
an aid?
An aid, a training aid, I think.
So, but could we stand there and just remind ourselves of this?
Yeah, I think so. I think you can start to do that motion manually without the band, you know, getting into these positions like we said, really sort of feeling that left hip, getting this hand a little bit lower and not in these positions where we'd be more like this leaning back, where you can really feel it in the spine. There's a big difference between getting that right and wrong physically. So I think just maybe having that on the tee, if your playing partners are teeing off, you can just do it in the background out of the way so you don't feel like you're on show and on display with a lot of these motions that you're doing.
I think people get embarrassed about doing it.
Yeah, definitely. People get embarrassed about warming up. Like sometimes I do, you know, like you go into the range and you've got all the gear and then they're like, what's she doing? So I totally get that.
You feel the pressure to play well, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what we're saying right now is if you do these 2 exercises, you have a much bigger chance of playing some better golf.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. You know, if we can help you get 1% better, then that's what we're looking for.
Fab. Well, thank you for watching today's video. We really do hope you enjoyed this segment here at AlexElliottGolf. And obviously, like we always say, at the minute, go and check out everything that Nat's doing on her website, on ProFit Golf, but also we have some very exciting news.
Yeah.
We will tell you more when we can. It hopefully won't be too long.